From the Gettysburg Museum of History Studios, high atop Baltimore Street, in a maximum security facility complete with central air, it's AG Today.
Hey, I'm Gary Edelman.
Hi, this is Wayne Motz.
Hi, I'm Joey, Sir AC, and you're listening to Addressing Gettysburg.
And that's the coolest.
And that's the coolest.
Hi, this is Caroline Janey, and you are live on Addressing Gettysburg.
You're listening to
My name is John Dacre.
Do you...
I will fraternize your business.
When I turn 60, I swear to God, I'm going to the gym.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Addressing Gettysburg today, or shall I say, how do you say that in Spanish?
I don't know.
Noche is tonight. A dia? No, that can't be right.
I have no idea.
Now? Ahora?
I didn't do...
Welcome to Addressing Gettysburg
Spanish.
today, ladies and gentlemen. And,
Hoy is the word for today.
Hoy or oi?
Hoy.
Hoy.
H-O-Y.
H-O-Y. Pull that mic closer to your mouth there, Debbie.
I was trying to make sure it wasn't like...
Oh, yeah, I know, but you're all right. Yeah.
Cool.
It's Debbie Jones, ladies and gentlemen, and
What's
Bethany
up?
seems to have her sound up, so that's very good. Welcome. It's, spring is definitely in the air now. I can feel it in the air tonight, spring. And I'll tell you, it is... No, it's nice. It puts a little spring in your step.
It's
no pun
humid
intended.
today.
It's humid?
It is.
Oh, yeah, out right now. If you go out right
I've
now.
been in here all day.
Well,
It's
it rained
supposed to
earlier,
be
too.
thunderstorming later.
I thought it was supposed to thunderstorm. The other day it was supposed to thunderstorm, and it never did.
Nothing
No,
materialized.
there were like some pretty scary looking clouds, but nothing.
It feels like it's going to rain. It's very humid outside right now.
Yeah. Well, you know what they say. April showers bring May flowers.
They do say that indeed.
True story.
And perhaps this year it'll actually line
Do
up
that.
that way. Yeah. Because usually it's like
Last year
May
it was-
showers bring June flowers.
It was like freezing weather March, May rain forever.
Yeah.
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 Monsoon
Not fun.
season, I called it last.
Yeah, it was like 2 weeks straight of rain at some point every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was awful.
It was awful. But what was not awful, ladies and gentlemen, was that the Walk Tallers won second place at Tacos and Trivia. Let's see. Who was on the team? So we had Bethany, Cindy.
No.
I'm sorry, not Bethany. I was looking at her and I said Bethany. We had Debbie, Cindy, 6 questions length, Court's dad, and that was it.
We had nobody else, yeah.
Nobody else, right? Just
We should have had a Bethany.
You should have, but Bethany wimped
Was
out.
dying.
You were dying. Were you still dying at that point?
Yeah, this cough just will not go away.
Really?
Yeah, right now I'm okay, but
Yeah.
if I start coughing, I'll.
That seems to be, I don't know if it's like the age or something, but I remember when I had a cold.
Are you trying to say I'm old?
I'm thinking like you hit 35 and these things start to change, right? Well, when you get there, you'll see. But like when I used to get a cold, I would knock it out in 2-3 days tops. Now I knock it out in 5 days tops, and then the cough lingers for another 4.
Forever.
It's a 9-day, 10-day cold.
By the way, thank you for saying when I get there.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
I've been there for a while.
I know. 10 years ago is when you first hit 35. Oh, now come on now. You with the cursing. Don't let it slip.
I wasn't going to swear.
All right.
I was going to say not true.
Okay. All right. Well, very good. So you had second place, and the second place prize, here's the funny part. The second place prize was a free month on Patreon.
Yay!
To which I replied, hey, 3 of us here at least actually do pay for it, so this actually isn't bad.
Yeah, right. So now, like, the beauty of it was, it wasn't going to cost me anything, right? I just somebody who never had Patreon, because I didn't think these guys would come close. So, I thought, honestly, I thought they were going to get first place.
I feel like the questions were harder. Like the ones that...
Well, we modeled it after the guide exam. So he said, what are people not going to know? That's what we'll ask.
If we had been more confident on our answer for the last question and bet everything, we would have won.
All right, now Court just raised his hands there. Court, what is going on? I'm sorry, I didn't realize your mic was muted. I hope you weren't trying to talk that whole time.
No.
Okay.
I advocated for... That's not... I said, let's just bet it all. Who cares if we come in first place or last place? Or I mean, last place. We won first place is what I want.
Right. And Cindy, what you're saying, no?
That's not what he said.
What did he say?
He said, every time I bet everything, I lose. So why not?
We were like, that's not encouraging.
Yeah, that's not. How does that make any sense?
He said, when I
trying to change the streak.
Okay. It didn't work though, did it?
No.
But still, second place is pretty good. What place did you guys come in last year? I forget.
Second.
Dead last.
I think
like
that's
all the
more.
other people who ended up with 0 because we bet everything and didn't get it right.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
That's the disputed answer.
Yeah, I
we
think
were
that's
in
more
first
accurate.
place.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then we bet it all.
That's right. You had it all, and then you bet it all.
Well,
and then you lost it all.
Because we were right. And you were playing from the Trivial Pursuit from 1982.
Well,
that's
okay.
what happened.
So this year we actually cited our sources in the question. So I had the source there. If anybody called shenanigans, I'd be like, "Oh yeah, well look it up on YouTube.
Look it up on Wikipedia.
Yeah, right. Look it up on InfoWars. You know." And then people are like, "Well, then that must be true."
Rob, the first thing he said to me when we were talking about this, he's like, we cited everything. Like, serious, like deadpan serious looking at me. And I'm like,
We learned from last year. But we had a lot of fun. Judy Morley, this was her first one as the head honcho. And so she kind of co-hosted it with me there.
Oh,
she
nice.
did the scores and everything. And I read the questions.
She did great.
She
So
did.
you.
She did. And Rob afterwards on Monday, I saw Rob at another function and he said, he's like, How'd you like it? Was it good? And I was like, yeah, I had a lot of fun. He's like, oh, good. He's like, should we do it more? You want to do it again? And I was like, yeah, I think we should do it every year. Because I heard that you can't call something annual until it's 3 years. Otherwise, it's just twice in a row, and it doesn't mean it's annual. So these people that go, first annual, I mean, I understand you're stating your intentions, but you're not technically correct. It's got to be 3. My question is, does it have to be 3 under your belt and then the 4th one is now you can call it annual, or when you do the 3rd time, is that the first annual?
It shouldn't be that difficult.
No.
I think if you want to call it annual, you can call it annual.
I feel like I've seen 3rd annual in multiple places.
Yes.
Before,
Okay. Then okay. Now, here's the other nice thing. Not only did the Walk Tallers win 2nd place, but the Addressing Gettysburg Book Club, well, not entirely, but Steve Byers, the head of the book club, his team won first.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. So and then Elaine was on his team. And she's also a listener and a big supporter of the show. So, I mean, Addressing Gettysburg had a pretty good showing.
Yeah, we
Pretty good showing.
Do you know what I was doing?
What?
In bed.
Trying not to
You
die.
were trying not to die.
Going like this with my inhaler.
Oh, that's a shame. So anyway, what I think I'm going to do, I told Rob this, is because, and so what I'm going to end up doing is refunding them a month so that they get a free month. That's,
Oh, for the Patreon.
Yeah, because they already pay. There's a big laugh like when they said, "Oh, you get a Patreon," and everybody's like, "Wow, we're already members." So I'm going to refund them. But I really wanted someone who's not a patron to get it.
Yeah.
So I told Rob, I said, just send an email to everybody and give them all a free month. So everybody that was there is going to get a free month. And then whatever.
About how many people were there? Do you know?
275.
Wow.
No, it was.
He wishes.
I think it was 45.
Oh, that's a good group.
Yeah, it was a decent sized group.
There were 6, 7 teams, something like that. There was one that was just a couple, but then there was.
Yeah, that was Todd and Margot. They came in dead last this year.
5, 6.
Didn't.
No, they got 1 point and ended up, I think, fourth or third, something like that.
Because everybody else lost it all.
Yeah.
Oh, so they came in fourth.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, good for Todd and Margot then.
They did the Jeopardy trick and bet everything but one.
Yeah. Oh, that one. Yeah.
Wait, smart.
What was the last question?
What?
Oh, U.S. president
was the first what U.S. president was the first to be born as a U.S. citizen?
It seems like something.
Martin Van Buren.
Correct.
There you go. That was for Mark Celery. We got a little history there. So there you go, Mark. Yes, there was history on this show.
We came to the Adams County one. So, what was the actual South Central PA?
Stop distracting him. The camera's stuck on me.
We all looked at each other and Cindy goes, none of us were born in this county.
What?
No, the South Central PA. Cindy was like, wait, none of us are originally from South Central PA in our group. We're like, we're screwed.
What was the question?
What was the first company Milton Hershey
that's right.
owned?
Yeah.
And none of us knew it, unsurprisingly.
Wilbur Chocolate. No, I'm joking.
Wilbur Chocolate.
Lancaster Caramel Company.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
You're not too far off.
Yeah, but we were all like, great. South Central PA, and none of us in this team were from here.
No. But it was a good time. It was a lot of.
This is true.
What the hell?
Oh my!
Is the video glitching on the? Oh, okay. No, that was just there. Okay, so let's see. Other exciting things this week. A lot of people are very grateful to Addressing Gettysburg for, like I said, we learned that during the from the guide exam that there's not a lot that we know. Let me rephrase that.
I was like,
I know nothing. No, that we learned from the guide exam that there's a lot more than just the Battle of Gettysburg that you need to know, right?
Yeah,
and so that inspired me to start looking elsewhere for things to talk about. Mm-hmm. And one of those things is other battles, other campaigns. And so we did a show on a battle that Mikey B and I discovered actually through one of our patrons, Peter Novak. And he's a friend of Mike's. Mike didn't realize that he was a patron and all this stuff. And he lives out in Missouri, and he's very much interested in the Wilson's Creek battle. And he found out about this little action that took place the day before called the Battle of Parsons Mill. And did all this research on it and everything and shared it with us. And we did a show about it on Tuesday. It came out on Tuesday.
I love when we learn things.
And people have been learning about the Battle of Parsons Mill. And they're like, in fact, Larry Korcha came up to me yesterday and he's like, I've been watching your show about Parsons Mill. He goes, I've been to Wilson's Creek. I've never heard of this. And I said, oh, yeah, Larry? And he goes, yeah. And I missed the point when he said, I started watching. I thought so. I didn't realize that he didn't finish it.
Gotcha.
And I said, at what point did you realize it was April Fool's? And he goes, that was April Fool's? And I was like, oh, Larry.
And one of the things we learned is Matt is full of shit.
Yeah. Usually on April 1st, you could definitely bet that I'm full of shit on something. And so, but we were very. Oh, Mark Celery's from Missouri, so you've heard of the Battle of Parsons Mill.
I'm just saying there are certain things that if I don't know about it, like if I wasn't there, I'm not believing a single word Matt says.
Yeah.
I've been burned way too many times.
I gotta be honest though, this was Mike's idea. I always love a good April Fool's Day joke, but I'm not always good at coming up with the idea. Once we have an idea, then I can run with it
all year long. It's hard to.
Every day is April Fool's Day. Exactly. So Mike says, he goes, I got an idea for an April Fool's Day joke. I said, what? Tell me. And he's like, he goes, we do a show about the Battle of Parsons Mill. And I'm like, I've never heard of it. He's like, exactly. We'll make it up. And I was like, oh, I love this. So we had the name Parsons Mill. So we did throw some things in there that if you were kind of like asleep while watching, that might start to like, you know, make you tilt your head like a puppy. One of them was that if you noticed all of the, now this was Mike's idea. And I said to Mike, I was like, Mike, nobody's going to get this because real Americans don't like soccer. Right. But Mike said, well, let's name the commanders after soccer players, like professional soccer players. I was like, okay, great. So we just took professional soccer player names. And then I said, how about for landmarks, we use surnames from popular late 80s, mid to mid 90s sitcoms. Okay?
Oh, nice.
So we have Tanner's Ridge after Danny Tanner on Full House. We have Taylor's Creek, which is Tim the Toolman Taylor. We have Chambers. Who knows this one? Chambers Farm. Chambers. Whose last name was Chambers? This goes way back. The slightly older people in the back might know this one. Anybody? BKW. You got it. You know Chambers. You recognize that from anything? No, I guess everybody's asleep back there. No.
Anyone know the name Chambers from a sitcom?
Can they not hear?
No, we can, but we were talking.
Oh my God. What are you like in church, guys? Diane Chambers from Cheers. Very good.
Oh, there we go. Very good.
Who got that?
John B got it in the comment section as well. Diane Chambers from Cheers. Then we had what was it? So now this one I thought would give it away, so we had to change it. The Belding Farm had Belding's Woods.
Mr. Belding?
Yeah, Mr. Belding. And I said to Mike, I'm like, I'm not comfortable with Belding. That might be too easy of a giveaway. People might say, oh, Mr. Belding, and then they start thinking in sitcom terms, and they notice Tanner, Taylor, Chambers. And then Winslow, anybody know that one?
Oh,
Family Matters. Mm-hmm. That's right.
What about Kramer Ford?
No, it was Winslow's Ford, actually. Thanks for watching. And so those
you should have made one after Kramer. He's the best.
You know, we should have, but I didn't think of that because I don't know. I was thinking other stuff for some reason. So we had those little Easter eggs, but then in case you were really dense, with all due respect,
basically Bethany,
we made the casualties absolutely ridiculous. For example, the Union force was only about 1,100 men. Mm-hmm. Okay. Out of 1,100, 800 were casualties.
Wow.
600 of those were killed.
Whoa.
And as the great Six Questions Lent said, those aren't casualties, that's a massacre.
Because he also did not have any of them captured.
Right. There was zero captured.
No.
Right. Zero captured. And then the Confederates, I forgot that, but it was just as lopsided. And then my favorite part was one of the commanders of the Union forces was named Andrew Jacobson. And so Mike said, why don't we do this where every time we talk about not every time we talk about Jacobson, but often when we talk about Jacobson, we'll just throw in the little aside and it'll go like this. It'll be like, and so Jacobson's men are in the woods, or, then you have it would be like this. Then you have Captain Jacobson of Culp's Hill fame, and now his men are in the woods. And so we threw a couple of those in there. And I remember
suddenly everyone's like, wait, where was he on Culp's Hill?
Right. So Larry was saying, he goes, but the Jacobson, I couldn't remember.
Poor Larry.
And I was like, oh, Larry.
God bless him.
Sorry.
I love him so much.
Larry.
Yeah, Larry's great. So anyway, we had a lot of fun with that. There were a couple of surly people who commented because, we spent look, if we're going to do a joke, we're going to go all the way.
Oh,
so it's 42 minutes of us talking about this battle. But I have to say, afterwards, after I edited it, I called Mike and I go, I think we're in the wrong line of work here, Mike.
Yeah.
I think we should be actors.
Yeah.
I said, because that was great improv right there. I was like, that was like a Christopher Guest movie. Uh-huh. Because all we had was an outline.
Yeah.
And we just made up the rest. It was, pretty good. So we're quitting and we're going to go on the road and we're going to go to Hollywood. and we're going to try to get a job out there.
So fake history.
Not fake history, just, improv.
Improv history.
Find the lie.
History improv. I
See,
like
Mark
it.
Celery says, I listened to this episode. I was enjoying learning about a new battle, but now I feel bad that I was fooled. Well, listen, I would normally say sorry, but I didn't mean to trick you. But it's April Fool's Day. Okay? The whole population is vulnerable to
Basically,
that.
if you see it on the internet, don't believe it.
Especially
on April 1st.
on April Fool's Day, yeah. What did other people do? I'm sure other people did something.
This is the only one I saw.
Really?
Yeah.
Usually everybody has something.
I thought there were several from the Park Service, like various sites within the Park Service that were really funny.
Yeah.
There was one I saw that was they were going to put a zip line on the south rim of the Grand Canyon.
Okay. I like that. Keep going.
I know. What were some? Zion posted that there's one, iconic view. So they put an image of like a Jell-O cake over it, and someone encased the rock in Jell-O, and it. Some of them were there were a lot of references to Bigfoot being in national parks, and some of them were pretty funny.
Well,
I actually sat here going, it was April Fool's already.
Hi, it's the 3rd now.
Hi. I'm medicated.
Tom Canterman goes, all this prep for a joke? How about the weekly show?
Oh!
Well, it's funny. The April Fool's show was really the only one that anybody besides me, like, enthusiastically decided to work on with me. So we don't have nobody. I work on this show every week, and it's exhausting with all the other shows. So most of the time we're phoning it in. Sorry. Matt never asked us to be his fools for April Fool's Day. Oh, yes, I did.
That's right.
Yes, I did.
Rich Condon saw mountain lions at Catoctin.
You never.
He had a picture and everything.
Yeah.
There were 3 of them.
What was it, Cam dressed up as a mountain lion?
No.
Gosh. I had a dream about Cam the other day.
Did you?
I saw Cam the other day.
Yeah.
Cindy's sister went to Catoctin and took a video of the kids being sworn in by Rich Condon as a junior ranger. And in the background, you can hear Cam talking about himself. It's like you hear Rich doing, the kids are repeating. It's all cute. And in the background, you hear,
so I was down there on Troop Mountain, and I led my men around behind the Confederates and scared the hell out of them.
and it's like, Jesus, Cameron. Even there.
He texted me the other day and he goes, do you still have that barrel on the back of your porch? Yes. Why? Do you want it? And he goes, yeah, actually. What time are you home? So I told him, and he stopped by and I said, so which park is this going to? I was right, because apparently Catoctin, just a little bit north of where the visitor center is now, someone had during Prohibition put a whiskey still up there. And so they wanted to recreate, obviously
cool.
not attach it so that it works, but recreate the look of a still. And all they were lacking was a barrel. And I was like, it's better used there than it is on my back porch.
There you go. Is that the one I left? Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah.
So now we can go visit it at Catoctin.
That's pretty heavy too, that barrel.
He said it wasn't as heavy as he thought it was. So
okay, good.
Whatever. It's off my porch now.
Let's see. Also, tickets are still available for the anniversary show recordings. Only a few. There's only a few tickets left on each one, and I'm about to do something amazing. Not only are they in the in the description, but they're about to be in the comment section, ladies and gentlemen.
Whoa.
It's so exciting. Nope, it's not exciting because, of course, they are too long. So I'm going to have to do them individually, but they are in the description there. So you can go ahead and get them. I put how many tickets are left for each one so that you know. The Easter one's going to be tough. There's only 2 tickets left for the July 2nd and July 3rd ones. So 2 each. Mm-hmm. Easter's got 5. Not Easter. It's not Easter. It's the day before Easter, but I figured that, and I knew in my gut that would be a tough sell. So I should have really done it last weekend of April and the first 2 of May. But It is what it is. And
you live, you learn.
You live, you learn, Court.
Yeah.
You live, you learn.
I'll be out of town for Easter, so that's why.
Really? What for?
I'm going to go home to Michigan and visit my family up there.
Oh, yeah. Why?
Because I like them.
Oh, that's interesting. Very good.
Uh-huh.
Tom Gannaman says, thought maybe Ken was going over Niagara in a barrel.
It might have been. Did you see it at Catoctin? No.
Yeah. I've been there, so yeah.
Okay, and then also congratulations to our pal Wendy Allen. She won Destination Gettysburg's Spirit of Gettysburg Award on Monday night, and we were there. And I was sitting at her table. I didn't know she was the guest of honor per se.
Did she know?
I think she did. She had a speech.
Oh, okay.
Unless she walks around with that speech in her pocket, I don't know. But it was a really nice speech. And I asked her, I was like, what is that last line? I wanted to write it down on my phone. And actually I did. Yeah.
Oh.
But she handed me the speech. She's like, here, just keep it. And I left it in my jacket pocket, but I will read it to you now. So she's talking about, painting Lincoln. That's, for those of you who don't know, that's what she's known for. She only does paintings of Lincoln in different ways, and they're really cool.
Lincoln to art.
Yes. What?
Lincoln into art.
Yes, that is correct. Lincoln into art. And so in the end, she says, so why Lincoln? I'm painting the exact location of America's soul. And her thing is that, the Gettysburg Address, Lincoln's Gettysburg Address is America getting its soul, defining its soul. And I just thought that was really cool. It was a really good speech. And so congratulations to Wendy.
Super excited for her.
Yeah, and I love Wendy. I have a lot of fun with her. Also, we're going to be sponsoring, Justin Gettysburg is going to sponsor 3 nights of taps, 3 of the 100.
Nice.
Yes. And so that's going to be, I asked her about that. I said, so what's going on with all that stuff? You can't do it in the cemetery. Like, what's the real story? And she goes, it's not a big deal. And she goes, everybody's making something out of it online, and the park. She's like, it's not the park. It's the cemeteries are all different. They're different than the park. It's not the same as the battlefield. And the apparent from the way she described it, it's they're kind of changing the way things are done, where the cemeteries are kind of all under one umbrella now, and the rules are different, as they should be. It's a cemetery.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be at the Pennsylvania Monument, which honestly I think is better because more people will see it. So more people might stop and observe and partake in it. So I think in the end, this was going to be a good move. And then of course, you can go up to the cemetery afterwards.
Yeah, the sound might carry too.
I was just thinking that.
So you might be able to hear it from more points and around the battlefield, which might be kind of cool.
Especially if you're, like over on West Confederate, just walking along. And
then you hear taps blowing. Yeah. So, and it might be a little more poignant, I think, hearing it that way. Yeah, that's a good point. Oh, good point.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yes.
Sometimes I have
She's
a point.
smart like that.
All right, so.
Real quick.
Yes, sir.
While we're on the subject of death and dying.
Is that what we were talking about?
Yes.
Mark that.
Dr. Foos is listening.
Quick shout out to the official healthcare provider of Addressing Gettysburg, Dr. Foos, and the staff at Gettysburg Urgent Care. We've got you guys playing over here at Urgent Care. We are actually selling tickets to Urgent Care, and by that I mean, if you feel like you need medical attention, you go there and then they will bill your insurance.
Well, hello, Dr. Foos and everybody at Urgent Care.
Yeah. Do you think that they think, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, I think they watch it and they feel better about themselves, right? Like they look at it and they go, well, geez.
They saved the lives of multiple people in this room.
I
would have bled out. Had it not been for Dr. Foos, Matt,
I would have had a terrible upper respiratory infection that developed into pneumonia and God knows what else.
Pneumonia.
Pneumonia. They didn't help my stuttering, but they helped my pneumonia. What were you gonna say? What did who else? What other ailments?
My father.
Your father.
There he is.
What happened to him?
He had RSV.
He responded to an invitation.
Yeah.
And what else? Cindy, you went there once, didn't you? It was another urgent care.
I went there with my eyeball.
And when you had the strep?
Yeah, I had an eye infection and they cleared
You had an eye infection.
Okay. Yeah, I
did
How'd you get it? I told you not to pick your eye.
We're up to 5 Addressing Gettysburg staff members.
Wow.
At least.
We should get like a chair named after us or
And-
something.
and
do an
Lentz
episode
isn't even
from the
here.
waiting room.
That
Dr.
would be
Shaw
fun.
recognizes me now when I went. He's like, "Weren't you just here?"
It's like, oh, Bethany, what's going on this week?
Yeah.
Yeah. Haven't seen you in.
Who fell this week?
How'd you throw down the stairs this week?
Yeah, exactly.
Myself, doctor, myself.
Mm-hmm. I went to the chiropractor. I want to point out.
I need to do that.
And then for the first time with this chiropractor, and he's like, "There's a lot of damage."
Really?
Yeah.
He
He said, "Congratulations, you've won an award for the worst I've seen in quite a while of my hips being unaligned."
Yeah.
He said my left leg was 1.25 inches longer.
Yeah. I suspect that's one of the problems with mine because I have I can feel something's not right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not to mention my
Something
back.
ain't right. Yeah.
Something ain't right.
Yeah.
So
Well,
you won
remember-
the award for most misaligned skeletal.
And there were a lot of skeletons
Structure.
in that shop. I'm not going to lie. I walked in there and I was like,
And you survived it.
Oh, yeah. Did
Yeah,
you
it
tell
was
them you have a fear of... Because maybe if you told them ahead of time, they can hide them.
No,
Mhm.
I didn't tell them ahead of time.
But it's a fake one.
But remember how, well, maybe.
No, they're not using real bones.
You don't know.
I know.
So remember how we promised each other that we'd punch each other in the back?
Yeah.
So I figured out what my problem was. So now when you punch, you have a space to aim
You
for.
know where to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So don't tell me on the air, but let me know which chiropractor, because I need to go to one bad.
Yeah.
I wake up in the morning, I roll out of bed, and I moan, I scream, I cry, I limp, like an old man waiting for my body to stretch out and all my bones to,
Mhm. As we were talking, the chiropractor said that he went to school at Clarion University.
Wow. That's amazing.
And I was like, all roads lead to Clarion, people.
Yeah, that is something.
Uh-huh.
And you're trusting him with your chiropractic needs.
Yes.
Is it in Clarion? Is it in Clarion?
He's not in Clarion anymore.
Well, but he
I'm
learned in
not in
Clarion, though.
He was a
Lord.
wrestler in Clarion. And see, I think I'm all roads, they say all roads lead to Gettysburg.
Yes.
Because of the 10 roads.
Yes.
No, I think it's really Clarion,
So
Pennsylvania.
it's like Clarion.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, good for him.
Is it in Clarion? Is it in Clarion?
Actually, Mikey B was telling me today that his neighbor.
Is from Clarion?
No.
Oh.
His neighbor said to him, "Do you know Matt Calorie?" And he goes, "Yeah."
gosh.
He goes, "Yeah, I watch Addressing Gettysburg. I don't know a lot about the Civil War, but I live here now, so I'm learning.
Aw,
and
that's nice.
so I watch Addressing Gettysburg, and then I go, I swear to God, that guy lives below me, because he was watching the Parsons Mill episode, and then
and it was.
and it was, and then we tricked him,
And then,
And-
you were so mean.
He's not going to trust
and now
you.
he's not our friend.
And now he's going to leave bags of dog poop on Mikey B's
All right, don't give
front
any people
door.
ideas, because okay.
Do you have...
What?
What's your...
You know it's bad when you have your own coffee mug at urgent care.
All right, well, listen, before we go to urgent care, because our guest gets impatient with us, we have a guest on. You might have noticed Sweet Repeat Records in town, where the cigar shop used to be. First, it was over by the 7-Eleven. We're going to talk to the owner in a second. We'll be right back.
If you like this podcast and what we're doing here, please like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the upcoming interesting history podcasts here at Addressing Gettysburg. It really helps the channel, and it's completely free. That's the best thing. It's completely free. Please help us make our goal of 25,000 subscribers by Memorial Day. Thank you very much.
Oh my gosh, it is a chicken!
The Gettysburg Museum of History, located right here in the center of Gettysburg, PA. Owner and curator Eric Dorr grew up here and has spent his life collecting and preserving history through artifacts ranging from the Civil War, the Battle of Gettysburg, World War II, presidential items, pop culture, and more. His museum is free and open to visitors Wednesday through Sunday, 11 to 5 p.m., where you can stop by and immerse yourself in some of the most amazing artifacts that you would never believe exist in the middle of Gettysburg. If you're a fan of Band of Brothers and Everything Easy Company, you'll love his exhibit featuring the Dick Winters collection and artifacts from D-Day. You can even own your own piece of history by buying one of the many relics they have for sale in the museum and on the website gettysburgmuseumofhistory.com. The Gettysburg Museum of History is a non-profit 501c3 organization with a foundation that allows all purchases and donations to keep the museum operating and open free of charge. They have been featured on the History Channel, the Travel Channel, the Smithsonian Channel, and the Science Channel. Now you can check them out on American Artifact, the series on the YouTube channel, The History Underground. So that's the Gettysburg Museum of History at 219 Baltimore Street or the gettysburgmuseumofhistory.com.
Okay. You know, I don't know if you know this, but we like to support small businesses in Gettysburg because, I have one. I had another one. And my father had a small business, not in Gettysburg, but a small business. And I have a great deal of respect for people who can put up with all that bullshit. And it is a nightmare most of the time. But it beats working for someone else. And I think that's why most of us do it, because the thought of working for somebody else just kills us. It kills us. And we tend to get fired a lot because we can't work for other people. But let's see if that's true. Nick is our guest today. Nick, how do you say your last name? Mitch?
Mitch, yep.
Nick Mitch.
Yes.
Welcome to the show. Put the mic in your mouth
let me
there.
do that.
Not in your mouth, but
close enough. I got
close enough. Yeah, there you go.
Good.
Push it down a bit and angle it up towards you there. Or if you want, you can kind of sit back a bit.
Oh my God.
Move over there a little bit. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Awesome.
There you go.
Fantastic.
So now we can see your face.
Fantastic.
All right, good. So Nick, how old a gentleman are you?
I am 28 years old.
20, I was going to say, you're pretty young.
Yes.
But you have a business.
I do.
Absolutely. And it's Sweet Repeat Records.
Yes, sir.
I like the name.
Thank you very much.
And I remember when you opened up over there across from the 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
And I kept saying, I got to go in there. I got to go in there.
Sure.
And every chance I had to go in there, I remembered on my way back home.
Sure.
And I was like, God damn it, I got to do it again tomorrow. And I never did. So I'm glad we finally got you on. And I am going to make a point to go in when now you're over on Baltimore Street.
Sure.
Where the old Union Cigar Club used to be.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Yeah.
How do you like that location?
It's a great location. I mean, this time, if you actually stop in, you'll be able to fit this time. I mean,
yeah, the other place was small, right?
The other place was about the size of this room, almost.
Really?
Maybe a little bit bigger, but it was the only thing I could find in town. And I was just dying to get something out here. So I just grabbed the first thing I could
get. Got to get started.
Yeah.
How long did it take to get the cigar smell out?
Oh, it's not going. It's not going. I mean, there was a cigar shop there for what, 20 years, I think, something like that.
Yeah.
It's a long time.
Almost, yeah.
But I mean, they had carpet in there, and I'm not going to pull that up because there's like asbestos underneath. So yeah, we're just going to leave that.
Jesus.
But I mean,
just
I spent
cancer factory.
I mean, I had a couple, me and my buddies and my wife, we probably spent like 24 hours just trying to clean the walls, and then tried to paint it with like kills and stuff. And
that tobacco is never
it's
getting
in
that
there
out.
forever.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So now I just wallpapered the walls with like loose records and album covers.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, that's smart.
So it just doesn't look like it's bleeding cancer.
So I noticed. So Cindy's girlfriend, Cindy's daughter has a boyfriend.
Okay.
And he's into vinyl. He's 20-ish.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Really into vinyl. For Christmas, they got me a record player and albums and stuff like that. And there really is nothing like vinyl. And what I really love is that the youngsters, the kids today, are into it.
Absolutely.
Now, what is it? Because you guys, I mean, they for sure weren't really. I mean, they were around for the tail end of CDs, right? And then it was all MP3s.
Yeah.
What is it about vinyl, which is like, I mean, I was on the tail end of vinyl.
Yeah.
When I was a kid.
Yeah.
He's old.
I was on the tail end of the old, the really thick wax ones, you know?
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah.
Back in the day.
No, but really, like, what is it that you guys love about this so much?
So, I mean, it as cliche as it sounds, I mean, you never get as pure of a sound as you do just putting on a record. I got into it probably about 3-4 years before I opened my first shop. There's 2 across the state. And I just kind of fell in love with it right away. I was driving down the road one day, saw a record store. I'm like, let me stop in. And I picked up a couple records. My dad had a couple records. So we were just kind of talking, and I put it on. I was listening to that, and I had some 8 tracks and stuff, and it just picked up at a yard sale. And I fell in love with it. It has a pure feel to it. It's an experience. You're listening to the music, you're reading the liner notes, you're doing all that. It's just a whole
there's a whole thing.
The cover.
It's an immersive experience than just popping in a CD or a cassette and then you're down the road. You know what I mean?
I'm a big fan of the Doors.
Sure.
And like the Doors are what got me to want to learn how to play.
Sure.
I already played drums, but I want to learn how to play piano because of the Doors.
Sure.
And I'm still mesmerized by the Doors.
Yeah.
Mainly because of the organs that Ray Manzarek used. Like everybody used the Vox Continental. Nobody used the Gibson 101.
Yeah.
Which is more of that like circusy sounding organ that he used more on the road. So in the last, 20 years, like every time an album had a 40th anniversary, and then I guess when the 50th, they do a re-release where it's a remaster, and they've got all the original tapes, so they put in like the lines that they had to cut out or whatever, and it's crisper, it's clearer, there's more separation between the instruments, and it sounds like shit.
Yeah, it does.
Right?
Yeah.
It's just because it can be better, it doesn't mean it is better.
Right.
There's something about the inferior fidelity of old analog recordings that is more real.
Absolutely.
Right?
1,000%. I mean, the new stuff they put out nowadays, the 180 gram, I mean, I get the need for it to keep everything alive, but I mean, in my personal collection, I mean, unless it's something that just got put out like a Foo Fighters or something like that, I don't have any new releases. I try to keep everything as original as possible. It just doesn't sound as good.
No, so I know a lot of modern acts will release something on vinyl.
Yeah.
Does it sound good like old vinyl? No, because it's still digital.
And that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's all, and the remastered and everything, it's the technology behind it's great, but it's digital.
Yeah.
It's not going off the analog tapes that used to go. So yeah, you have everything broken down and it's all leveled out and it's all nice and neat, but it's digital. You're going digital to vinyl. It doesn't work like that.
No, it doesn't. And the other thing I don't like about modern music is that there's no imperfections.
Right. Yeah.
Even in the human voice, like some of the best singers in the world, like hit sour notes in the middle of a song,
1,000%.
but they'll keep it because the emotion is there, and it's the better take overall. And now they'll be like, oh, we'll just auto tune that, or they'll just fix it, and it just it kills it for me.
Yeah, there's no emotion.
I wish I had the same level of love of music that you guys do.
You like music?
I like music, but I couldn't tell you like the way you guys can pick it apart and hear the difference. Like even with the board, you'll mess with it during the show and you'll say it's different, and can you hear that echo? And I'm like,
you don't hear anything.
So
I mean, honestly, and I don't say this lightly or anything like that, but I've always suspected that I had a little touch of the tism because of the way I am with sound.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people who are like this have a bit of it. Like that's where our tism is with sound.
I also think with my ear, I don't hear what you're hearing.
Oh, well, yeah, that's the thing that's worrying me as I'm losing my hearing, that I can't hear, but there's always more volume. You know,
Right.
my stereo at home goes to 11.
I was just going to say, since you're going to 11, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. But no, so go ahead.
So what kind of music do you normally, like you personally, jam out to?
Oh, so if I'm putting on a record,
Yeah.
I'm putting on like classic Johnny Cash.
Oh yeah,
I'm listening to like the classic country stuff. Waylon, Willie, all that original stuff. I'm a big rock and roll guy too. I mean, I love AC/DC and stuff, but classic country is it's where it's at for me.
Yeah. So I'm not a country guy, but
Okay.
we in court and I have had this conversation before where, we'll talk about country and I'll be like classic country.
Sure.
That's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
It's different.
It's an art form.
It is an art form, and it's again like all other forms of or all genres of music now. It's genuine. It's
Like,
real.
Little Richard said something like he had a conversation with Johnny Cash at one point, and Johnny Cash said like, I'm a big fan of your music and culturally everything that you're achieving, and Little Richard, I don't know, he was on some talk show or doing some press release event, and he said that Johnny Cash is just doing what I'm doing for his people.
Yeah.
Sure.
I realize why you sound like you're in a fishbowl court.
Why is that?
You're speaking into the end, but that's a side address microphone. So you gotta yeah.
There we go.
You gotta speak into the side. Sorry. I should have told you that. I changed the mic out.
See, now
It's
that
like
I did
mine.
hear the difference. I did hear that.
Okay,
I did
there
hear
we go.
that.
So you got a
Yeah,
little
did you
bit of
notice
it.
you could hear the fake leather of his chair creak when he moved, but you couldn't hear him?
You didn't need autism for that.
Oh, God.
I worry.
That's going on the board.
Yeah, I do worry.
Hey.
Because I have records.
Sure.
I have old records from like
Yeah,
my
of
dad
course.
and grandmother and all that kind of stuff.
Engelbert Humperdinck, things like that.
Absolutely.
Tom Jones.
Nat King Cole.
Yeah.
I have Nat
Was a
King Cole
merry
records.
old soul.
But I worry that because of my hearing, I don't appreciate them the way that a person
I don't think it's
should.
I don't think it's the ears. I think it's, and this isn't a joke. I think it's the brain. I just think brains are wired differently, and some brains are wired to tune into the music.
Yeah. Like when we were at the Who's a What, the music thing. You remember when we went to at the Barn Resort, we were at the music thing. We're at the Ezra.
Cindy, can you translate? Oh,
Yeah.
Gettysburg Rocks.
Yes, thank
Yes.
you.
The Who's a What?
Yeah, the Who's a What.
The music thing.
That's usually how I talk.
That's okay.
But the reason I invited my friend Sarah to go along was because I'm not a fan of live music. So I was very uncomfortable.
Oh my.
Now, is it the same reason why I'm not a fan of stand-up comedians? Like you get anxiety because you put yourself in their shoes?
I get anxiety so bad. And
Yeah.
I don't
sweat
like
is pouring down. Thank you, Court. Okay, so back to your business.
Sure.
Now, instead of Court and his chocolate aversion. So you said you have two
I do.
shops.
Yeah, two
Where's
shops.
the other one?
So the other one is outside of Philadelphia, so like Bucks County area. And
Is that where you're from?
yeah. So that's the original
So like
one.
legit.
So who runs that?
It's my father. So it's a father-son thing. We
Okay,
opened
cool.
that, 2014 was when we opened that.
So now, okay. I always wonder this. I'm fascinated by businesses.
Sure.
Okay. And I'm fascinated by how money is made.
Yeah.
Because I've never made it. So my question to you is, how, not how, but is selling vinyl that like lucrative where you could pay the bills and have two stores and support yourself and all that stuff? I feel like it's so niche that maybe, and a lot of them I'm assuming are old, like they're used, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's probably the bulk of it is used.
Yeah. I mean, between the two stores, if I had to break it down, it's probably 90% used and like a 10% new.
So how does that work? How are you making money? I'm not trying to get personal.
It's a great question. It really
Thank
is.
you. Thank you.
Don't give him an ego trip.
Does the economy play any factor? Yeah.
Well, let's get to the how do you make it first, and then we'll ask that. So that's the second question. That's the follow-up.
Let me put it this way. If you don't have a passion for it, it's not going to be worth it.
True.
Is there money to be made in it? Sure. am I out here struggling like everyone else? Absolutely.
Of course.
I'm not.
Of course.
There might be $2 in my bank account at the moment. But so is there money to be made? Absolutely.
I would love to have $2 in my bank account.
It's got 20 cents.
Because it is so niche, again, it's very up and down. You never know. Again, kind of like you mentioned with the economy, you never know what tomorrow is going to bring. I've kind of gotten into a mode now where I don't expect anything good. I just kind of always have anxiety about it, so I just kind of live my life through that. So it's just and it's like kind of like you said in the beginning, it's better than working for somebody else. I'd rather spend my days out looking for used records or driving to Virginia because somebody said they have a record collection, and it could be crap, it could be great.
Right. But it's an adventure.
Exactly.
Are you ever afraid that they're just luring you there so they can kill you in their barn?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There's been
The look of fear in his face was genuine.
No, because I would be the same way. Because when you're somebody who's not like confined to an office or a store, and you're doing this thing where you got to go meet people, like, you know, in many ways, like what I do, there are times where I have to go meet people somewhere. They'll contact me, and I don't know them from Adam, and they're like, "Oh, I got, you know, this really good collection of bullets or something," and I've gone in and like seen some things. And, you know, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not going to go. I'll not go anywhere in Maryland because they don't have reciprocity with the carry permits. So I'll only go in Pennsylvania. Yeah. What?
Try cleaning houses.
You got to take a gun.
You do. You don't know what you're going to. And then if you like the stuff, then you rob them. I mean, that's how that goes.
Oh, my God.
Well, obviously you don't.
No. But it's I mean, if I said there was never a time where I pulled up to a house, I'm like, if I go through text messages with my father, because again, he still has the other one, probably on a weekly basis, we'll just send each other random like addresses and like text me in 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Make sure I'm alive.
Yeah. Because, and I mean, when we first started, we weren't even just a record store. We were a thrift shop. And so we had everything. We were buying and selling all kinds. It was, you think of the show Pawn Stars for the first 5 years.
Right.
That was that. Yeah. And then records just took over. So we were out, I mean, the hoarder of hoarders houses. I mean, you're walking on 4-foot piles of stuff, and
that's fun.
Then these people just disappear, and you're like, oh, what's happening?
Because they fell through the rotted floorboards.
Exactly, right.
Do you have any original Money and Cigarettes albums? Like
you won't.
They played Crossroads. See if you like this. You might want to carry it in the store. Wait until they start playing. Yeah. Eat your heart out, Clapton. Do people come in asking for Money and Cigarettes ever?
I haven't gotten that request, but hey, there's always a first. I'm always surprised.
What about the Walk Tallers?
I haven't gotten that one either. I'm sorry.
Poor kid. He's trying to
be professional.
We're jerking around here.
Hey, I know. Yeah.
That was my band in high school.
Okay. It wasn't terrible. I've heard worse.
It was terrible. Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's worse to hear if you wanted to hear it, but we won't get into that right now.
So how do you do this with the used records? So say I have my grandmother's collection of records
for sure
in a storage unit in my friend's old daycare, and I bring them to you.
Yeah, it's oddly specific.
Yeah,
it's very specific.
And I bring them to you, and you say,
"Hi."
Yeah, right. So I'll flip through them. I'm going to check condition of vinyl and everything like that, and then I'm going to look at the genre of music. If it's the Humperdinck and Perry Como and stuff like that, I'm going to say I appreciate you bringing them in. Not for me. Yeah. If it's Led Zeppelin and Pink Floyd and stuff like that, I'm going to pay about half of what I'm going to sell it for.
So, okay. So there is a certain genre or a couple of genres that you will sell.
1,000%. Yeah.
Is it because there's no interest in Perry Como or really?
There's zero interest in Perry Como.
Okay. So how old is your clientele?
See, that's my clientele. I have kids from middle school coming in, and I have people who are coming from the senior home. I mean, it ranges. But
sure. Okay. So it's the people who remember them. And it's the people who are discovering them.
Sure.
Yeah.
But
in the middle.
Yeah, but even like.
So you mean the people? I'm sorry to interrupt you,
No,
but
no,
the
no.
people in the nursing home or the old folks home or whatever, the older folks.
Yeah.
They don't want Perry Como?
No. They'll. You'll get.
What about Nat King Cole?
Sure.
He was a merry old soul.
Yes.
Yeah.
What about Neil Sedaka?
Oh.
Every once in a while, sure.
I hear laughter in the rain.
Sinatra's very big with them.
Of course.
Sinatra's big with everybody.
Because everybody loves Sinatra.
But there's but at the same time, they're also buying usually not buying the Led Zeppelin, but they'll buy the Eagles and stuff that. Rock and roll's really where, if we ran out of rock and roll records, I would be out of business. Because that's it.
You know, it's funny. When I was probably your age, or maybe like a year older.
During the Civil War. I love you.
You always cut away when I mug to the camera. You kill my mugger.
Right now.
You mug killer.
So I had a box of my parents' records.
Sure.
And I needed some extra scratch, and I didn't. They were just sitting around. I didn't even have a record player, and I sold them to somebody who collected vinyl for like